Ready? That way you want me to start like that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie, Mandy.
And I'm here with my bestie, Jessica.
Okay. All right, so something funny happened before the video, so we're trying to keep our crap together here. But okay, so this video is our cinnamon roll hero video. We discovered that we don't necessarily like cinnamon rolls while researching this video. We apparently like them as assholes. So
I've been using this reading journal. So I read a lot, as we know. You read a lot. This reading journal I've been using for over 3 months now, and it has one flag for cinnamon roll hero.
Yeah, I went through my whole journal for this year.
Actually, it'll have 2 because I forgot to flag something. So 2.
Yeah, I was like, "Where's the cinnamon rolls?" I wrote cinnamon roll one time, so then I had to like. Yeah.
Yeah. Most of the time, my hero is grumpy or closed off and very guarded, and then eventually goes through like some transformation.
Yeah,
but
it's okay.
It doesn't start off cinnamon roll.
No.
Or golden retriever, I think is the other word that people
use. So our Recs are going to be their cinnamon roll tendencies. So maybe not fully cinnamon rolls. But before we get started with that, Mandy, tell them the thing.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button because we give away free books on our channel. We love to do that. So subscribe, follow us on Instagram for an extra entry.
Okay. All right. So I had to go back. I had to go way back to find us some cinnamon rolls. So this book I actually read, my first one of in 2022. So it's been a while since I read it. But the guy really is actually a cinnamon roll. So this is Hush, Darling. And it is by Avery Kingston. This is about Gia and Tanner. So Gia's been married for a few years, and her husband is this greasy mafia guy, and he's mean to her. He abuses her, and she's been trying to figure out a way to get out and biding her time to run away from him and get away. She finds out that she's pregnant, and she knows that now is the time. She cannot be in this relationship anymore if she's pregnant. So her friend is her OBGYN, and she helps her stage her own death, fake her own death, make it look like she died. And when that happens, she's able to flee. She's in the car. She's fleeing New York. She's in the northern part of the state now, headed towards the Canadian border, when a snowstorm happens. And she ends up needing a place to stop, and she ends up having a little bit of an accident, and she ends up at this place that has cabins, like summer cabins for people to rent, and she ends up in one of these cabins, and that is where she meets Tanner. Tanner's our hero. He runs the cabins, he owns them, but he is also deaf, and so he finds her and he convinces her to come and stay with him, and he teaches her sign language, and yet there's still the husband who's on the hunt. He eventually figures out that she might not really be dead, and he comes looking for her. But Tanner is a sweetheart. I really loved his character. He was just one of those gooey cinnamon roll kind of guys, and he would do anything for Gia, and I loved him. I really, really loved him. So
why haven't I read this book yet?
I don't know. I read it before we started our channel. And so it was probably put on a list for you to read, but it was before we really started talking about it this way to each other. So that's probably why.
All right.
Okay. What's your first book?
The Pool Boy by Nikki Sloan.
Okay.
I don't know. He might not be everyone's definition of a cinnamon roll hero, but I loved him because he truly loves Erica. And I just love him. Okay, so we have Erica. Erica is recently divorced. Her and her husband had been married for I think it was almost 20 years. And she catches him cheating with his male boss. So she not only has she's got a lot of feelings here going on, and it really impacts her self-confidence and how she feels, her self-worth. She's really struggling. And so the pool boy is significantly younger than her. He's actually one of her friend's sons, and he comes to, clean her pool and things like that. And she is trying to gain her confidence back. And so she decides to go out into her backyard area in suntan topless. And the pool boy, Troy, stops by to check on something that he like forgot to do with the pool or something. So she's not expecting him there. And he sees her and he likes what he sees. And from there, the two of them have some chemistry and some things happen. And he really just wants Erica to see how amazing she is and how attracted he is to her. But she's kind of battling the fact that he's so much younger. She doesn't really have her self esteem back. And he's also her friend's kid. Ah. But I just love how much he just wants her to like realize how amazing she is.
Okay.
I love Troy. I have a pool. I need a pool boy.
I will not be sending my son.
Oh, please don't. Please don't.
No.
You have taken this too far.
A little bit. Okay,
You crossed the
let's
line. I don't think we can recover now.
I don't get that. Well, okay. Anyhow, my next book is historical. And he did something bad, but I still think he's a cinnamon roll. So let's talk about that.
I want Travis Kelsey to be my pool boy. I feel like I need to clarify after you made that comment.
Okay. Travis Kelsey can come be your pool boy.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Back to the book. So I have Morning Glory by Laverlil Spencer. This one is obviously, it's historical. It's set just before World War I believe. And this is about, or maybe World War II. It's set back then, early 1900s. So this is about Will and Eleanor. Eleanor is known in the town as Crazy Ellie or Crazy Ellie, whatever they think she's crazy. And because of her upbringing and things that happened when she was growing up, and she really isn't very invested in the town. She's a little bit of a hermit, but her husband has passed away. She has 2 babies and she is pregnant with her 3rd. And so she puts an ad in the paper for why? It's the finger. Why does it want to do that? For a husband. And Will has been in prison. He actually did something really bad years ago. It is explained. We eventually find out it's a little different than what we're told. But he's been in prison. He is now out and he's trying to find a job and he's trying to work and make money. But once people find out what he did, they immediately are like, no, I'm not paying you. It's, he's treated pretty poorly actually. And so he decides to check out this ad and see what it's about. And that is where he meets our pregnant Eleanor here. And he agrees to stay in her barn and to help her around the house. He agrees to give her some time, but to marry her to make things better in this situation. He is so sweet. Like I just felt bad from the beginning because I was like, I don't think he deserves this, the way he was treated. And then he gives her time and he's there for her kids and he tries to find ways to make money around the farm. And he pulls her out of her little, like, hi, Mandy. He pulls her out of her, she's a little bit of a hermit and he shows her that it's not so bad to go out. Like you have to protect him at all costs. He's just that good. So I loved it. Loved it so much. Okay.
It doesn't do it on my side. It's just you.
The thumb thing? Yeah. So. Okay.
So my next one was a cinnamon roll hero in hiding.
Okay. All right.
So this is the one I didn't see coming by Piper Rain. And we have Briar. Briar has just moved back to her hometown and nobody knows what brought her back, but she is back. And her sister is older than her and kind of helped raise her. So she's very protective of her. And Briar was going to be staying in her sister's house until it sold. But basically, Briar gets to town and the house sells to a cash buyer. And so she doesn't have anywhere to live now. So Emmett is in the picture and he is Briar's sister's, I think that fiance at the time of this happening, and brother. And so Yeah, I need to clarify. He's not the fiance. He's the fiance's brother or boyfriend or possibly husband. I can't remember if they had gotten married yet. Anyway, so sorry. Uh, all these little details. Sorry. So Emmett keeps being told by everyone in Briar's family and his family, like, stay away from Briar, leave her alone, you know, and they just kind of make him out to be this like heartbreaking playboy. And so Briar had previously had a crush on him and is kind of over it because of something that happened, but she reluctantly goes to live with him because she has nowhere else to go and he offers. And she has stuff going on in her life and he finds out about it and he wants to help her. He wants to take care of her. And he is just such a sweet cinnamon roll hero. While everybody else is like, stay away from her. You're up to no good all the time. And so I feel like he just had these cinnamon roll hero tendencies that he just needed to find the right girl for them to come out. So I really enjoyed this one.
Okay. All right.
Sometimes cinnamon roll heroes are hard for me.
I know. Like I said, I like them to be jerks. I really do.
Because sometimes I do have some other ones that I could have recommended, but I'm like, I didn't really like that one so much. And I really think that if the guy is too much of a softie, I don't care for him.
Mm-mm. I can tell you that 100%.
I don't know what that says about me, but
in fiction, it's okay. It's okay. All right.
Well, I don't know that I would like it.
No. I don't want somebody I can walk all over, I guess is the thing, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like when we think about cinnamon roll heroes, we think that that's the case, but that's not always the case.
No, it's not.
Yeah. So, okay. So the next book I have is fantasy. It is an MFM, but one of those M's is he's just a little cinnamon roll and you just want to keep him. So this is The Wolf in My Tavern by L.V. Lane. So this is about Ada and Callum and Gray. So Ada lives in this village. She works to her fingers to the bone every day. Her dad is like the town drunk and he squanders, like he gambles away their money. Even though she'll try to save a little bit, he takes it and there's no more money. So he's gotten involved with this kind of like a trafficking or like a human slave ring kind of thing. And he sells his daughter to them and she's going to be sold to the Blight. And there's like this war going on with this group of people. And so this Blighton people. So she is taken captive. Her dad gets paid for that. And then he takes off. And when she's thrown into a cell to await what's going to happen next, there's another girl in there. And she tells her, don't worry, my dad is going to get the men of the town and my dad is going to save us. And that is what happens, kind of. Instead of her dad busting in, it is Callum. He is the blacksmith's son and he is our cinnamon roll. So she is rescued by this girl's dad and Callum and taken into their tavern that they run, and she becomes a barmaid there for a while. And she and Callum start up this very cute, very like first love type situation. He is just a sweetheart and he doesn't want to do anything to overstep and he wants to do it the proper way. And they, it's just, he's very, very sweet. So sweet that when Gray shows up, our wolf shifter, he doesn't really know what to do about that because there's obviously an attraction between her and Gray as well. And then this just leads to so much more. Eventually Callum does get, hi Mandy, Callum does get our, Callum does start to get more of a backbone and learn who he is. But he, at the heart of him, is just this giant squishmallow and you just want to keep him. So I did love this book. There's a lot more to it as well, but yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, my next book is Smitten by Lauren Rowe. And this is about, his nickname's Fish, his real name's Matthew, but everybody calls him Fish. And he is part of the 22 Goats. He is in that band. And so this is that whole Reed Rivers world. So I'm going to read you the first thing that he says to Alessandro, or one of the first things. He says, I'm a goat called Fish who's hung like a bull, but not really. I'm actually pretty average. So to say fish struggles with the ladies might be an understatement, but he's actually just he is a cinnamon roll hero. But he really struggles with knowing if women actually like him for him or if they like him because he's in this band. And he is not flashy and overconfident like most rock stars are. So he just really kind of struggles in this department. And he meets Alessandro, and she also kind of struggles a little socially. She's very shy and quiet and reserved, and she's wanting to kind of break out into the music industry, but she has been told that it's not going to happen because she doesn't have the personality for it. And the two of them are kind of thrown together. And from there, he becomes very smitten with her. And I just love him. He's just a super cinnamon roll hero.
Okay. Yeah, gotta protect those cinnamon rolls. All right, so my next book, my hero has cinnamon roll tendencies, but the situation that they're put into, he does have to, not always be a squishmallow. So this is Lost with You by Anna Lenore. And this is a survival romance. So this is about Cora and Liam. Cora has a catering company. It's her father's company. She's taking it over, where she kind of caters to the stars on set and stuff. And so she makes up her own recipes. They're really well loved. And so she has this business going on. And she, the day before she takes off for a trip to New Zealand with her bestie, she runs into Liam, who is like her heartthrob. Like, this is the guy. Like, he's a little bit like Patrick Swayze, where he has like the dance career with the acting career, and he's up and coming, and he's the one, right? Like the one she's a little obsessed with, and he compliments her on her sandwich. And then the next day, she is boarding this plane to go to New Zealand with her best friend, and they get told that the best friend has to wait for the next flight, that they oversold, and they're bumping her up to first class, but for the next flight, like she's going to be 2 hours behind or something to that effect. So Cora's on the flight. She sees somebody in first class that looks kind of like Liam, but again, she's in coach. She's back with the rest of us in peon, these little peons back here, the ones who can't afford to fly first class. And the plane's engine catches on fire en route to New Zealand, and they end up crashing in the ocean. And then when she wakes up, she's on a deserted island with Liam, and he is nothing like she thought he was. He is actually a very kind, very sweet guy, and it just goes from there. So he does have sentimental tendencies, quite a bit.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I prefer my heroes to burn the world down for
yes.
girl.
Yes. Exactly.
All
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want.
That's what we all want, let's be honest. Okay.
All right.
Next.
Can you have a cinnamon roll hero that would burn the world down? I just don't think those two go together.
I don't know. Mm-hmm. Okay. What's your next
All
one?
right. So my next one is Beyond the Bases by Kaylee Ryan. And this is about Larissa and Ian. Larissa has a lot going on in her life, and I won't give any spoilers away. You can find out what's happening as you read the book with her. But she and her friend go out, and it's like very rare for her to go out. And they run into this group of professional baseball players, and one of them is very taken by her. And she, like, like the evening's ending, and he like wants to hang out more, get her number, and she's like, no, no, no. And he ends up finding out where she works, and so she works at a diner, or I think it's kind of a fancier restaurant. And so he goes there to eat, and so he can talk to her, and then he'll wait for her to get off work. And he just really, really wants to like be in her life and make her life better. And she is very guarded, and she has lots of stuff going on in her own life. And so she just keeps turning him down, but he's an extremely persistent cinnamon roll until he can try and get her to agree just to spend some time with him. And I really enjoyed this one. I think maybe I liked him a little bit more than I typically like a cinnamon roll hero, because he was a little more persistent and not just like, oh, okay, like he knew he wanted her. And she has reasons. Like, it's not like he's gross or creeping her out or anything like that. She definitely likes him, but she has reasons for not wanting to pursue the relationship. So,
Okay. All right. So my last book, this guy really is a cinnamon roll. Like, he is the cinnamon roll. And that is After the Shut Up Ring by Kate C.
Mm.
Wells. I just felt like Brandon was just such, like, I even wrote in my journal. This is the one I wrote in. He's a cinnamon roll. So this is about Angie. She is, this is her wedding day. The book starts out on her wedding day, and she is realizing that the guy that she's marrying, the guy that she's staring at the altar, is not the person that she should be marrying. She's got 2 little girls. She got pregnant as a teenager, and she's been in this relationship with this guy for several years, and he's just not good for her. He thinks he's funny when he's not, and he's making a joke out of their wedding. And so she just finally has had enough, and she just says no, she's not going to marry him. Then she hears a crash, and that is because Brandon, who is her best friend's brother, has stood up in the like, out of everybody in the congregation, he stood up in his chair, has crashed to the floor, and we're not sure what he was going to do, but maybe make the situation better. Come to find out that Brandon has had a thing for Angie for many, many, many years. And when he was a freshman in high school, she's only a year younger than him. But his dad pulled him aside and said, well, you're a freshman in high school, so it doesn't look very good if you're dating an 8th grader. So back off. And so he did. And then that's when this other guy came into the picture a year or 2 later, because apparently a 1-year age gap is a horrible thing. I do understand what the dad was saying, but come on. Anyhow.
There's a big difference, though, like, especially if your schools are separate, for a high schooler to be dating a middle schooler.
Yeah,
I do see
but
that.
as you get older, I don't see that being an issue. Right?
No.
The next year would have been an issue. But at that point, it was too late. So, and now you have Angie, who's trying to navigate the world in a different way. She's a single mom to 2. And she has a lot of healing and stuff to do, but he loves her. He loves her kids, and he is there for her, and he will wait as long as she needs him to. He's there. He just definitely is a cinnamon roll. She has other trauma things that she's trying to deal with as well because of that relationship. And so he's there, and he's going to wait, and he's going to do what needs to be done to make sure that she's healed before he makes her jump into a relationship. He can't make her, but before he brings on the relationship. And he's just very patient and kind. So that is Brandon. That is my last one.
Okay, my last cinnamon roll hero is probably one of my favorite heroes of all time.
Okay.
One of my favorite books of all time. It was on my top for last year.
Okay.
And that will be Michael from Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers.
Oh, yeah. If anybody's a cinnamon roll, that's him.
Yes. Yeah. Patient cinnamon roll hero.
Good Lord, yes. Uh-huh.
So this is historical fiction, and it is deeply rooted in Christian faith. It is amazing, and the movie is also just as good. I loved both of them. So Angel is sold into prostitution when she is pretty young, and it can be a little hard to read about that. And she is described as one of, like, the most beautiful women ever, and men pay. So she is now in a brothel, and men pay. She's like, I think she's still pretty young, like maybe 20 or even 19, I think, at this time. And men will pay money to get into the lottery to get a night with her. And so she makes a lot of money for this brothel. And one day Michael's in town selling some vegetables or something, and, getting his supplies for his farm. And he sees her, and he hears God telling him, that is the woman you are to marry. So he gets as much money together as he can and tries to buy her out of her situation. Now, Angel has grown up, like, in prostitution and in brothels. Like, she hasn't had love since she was very, very little. And so her heart is very guarded, and she doesn't trust him because no man has ever been kind and liked her for anything other than, and she just really struggles with these feelings. And so she puts Michael through a lot. Like, she leaves, she does awful things, and he just continues to be patient and loving with her. And he does get frustrated, but never, like, at her. He's just your ultimate like cinnamon roll hero because he just truly loves her, and he is really rooted in his faith of believing that like God's love is all redeeming, and eventually she's gonna get there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love this book so much.
That man has the patience of a saint.
Yes.
Doesn't mean he doesn't struggle with it though, because we do see him struggle with
He
it.
does struggle with it, but he leans into his
Yeah.
faith a lot, which I think helps
Yeah.
with the situation.
Yeah. It's a great book.
Loved it.
So, yeah.
Hey.
All right, guys. So that's it. There's your squishy cinnamon rolls.
Tell us, what do you think about those cinnamon roll? And like golden retriever is also a word used for those kind of heroes too. So what do you think about them? Where are you at? Do you kind of lie with Jessica and I where we're like, burn the world down?
Yeah.
Let us know. We'd love to chat in the comments with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Also, make sure you hit that notification button so you don't miss new videos from us. And we do drop new videos on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, but we do lots of surprise drops as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. I'm kind of hungry for a cinnamon roll now.